All right, everybody. I want to go over another special Evans Gambit line. Um, I had this in a game, and I uh, I think it's really fun, and will definitely net you some easy wins. And B, I want you to make sure you win in the winning position. There's a few ideas. I'm not gonna go over all the Evans theory, but this is another fun line that you should definitely have in your repertoire if you play the Evans, because you're going to see some of these moves a lot. So let's get into it. We've got e4, e5, obviously standard stuff, and b4, the Evans move. No need to go into a ton of theory here. Most people take if they choose not to. It's not going to end well for them, but I won't go over that here. So bishop takes c3, and we play d4, classic move. And this is all normal theory. E takes, and now remember, I mentioned it in my last video, but if you forgot, we castle in this position. We do not take the pawn. Do not take the pawn. There's no reason to do that. We castle. Now, taking here is a mistake, as I talked about in the last video, but commonly you'll see this move. Knight ge7, it's played 3,000 times in the Lichess database, and you'll see white wins 62% of the time. So knight ge7 doesn't lose by itself. It's an okay move if black knows what they're doing. And you'll see the main move here is c takes d4. C takes d4 is the principled move. If your opponent knows the theory, definitely play c takes d4. Knight g5 is not as strong. C takes d4, definitely the way to go. If you're just playing online for fun and you want to have a fun line, if you see knight ge7, knight g5 is going to be a fun line. So knight g5, and here my opponent lost the game. And you'll see 407 other people have fallen into this problem. And the losing move is castles. So we'll see why this is such a problem, because my queen can come to h5. And so the point of this video is to not be the 13% of people that lost in this position. This is completely winning, and I want to make sure you guys know the proper continuation. So I'm just going to finish the game here. My game went h6. Black's pretty much only shot. You'll see it's pretty much the only move. If they don't play h6, then you just mate them. H6, and then knight takes. We take with the knight, allowing the bishop to take after, or some discovered checks. That's why we choose the knight. Pretty simple. A common theme in a lot of positions we want to take with the knight. So take with the knight. In my game, the queen scoots over, and now this is actually if we check with Blowfish, it's mate in 3. And you can find this if you want, but knight takes. Or I think my opponent resigned in this position, but knight takes with a double check on the king. We'll see. King only move is to go to king h8 essentially. If king h7, we have the same repetition. Knight back to f7, king here, and the final blow. Pretty beautiful checkmate. And if you can land this in a game, it's obviously fantastic. And we'll see, there's hundreds of people have fallen into this position. Now, this is where I want to make sure you guys win. So there's 16% of people that haven't won in this position. It's obviously a pretty straightforward win, but I like to go through the continuations just to make sure you guys are familiar. So after rook takes, if rook doesn't take and they just shift the queen over, we have mate in 3. So rook takes f7, bishop takes f7, and now the king has 3 moves. It can go to f8, g7, or h8. Now, there are certain moves that are better than others, but we'll go through them, and it's we'll see that all king moves are losing here. So the first one I'll go over is king f8. So if king f8, remember, king f8, bring the bishop away to threaten mate. So we'll see bringing the bishop back to threaten the f7 square. Now, obviously, black needs to cover f7, or else they lose immediately. So queen e8 is a normal try, covering the square. And now queen f3 check. Pretty simple. Queen f3. Knight can come and block here. We just take. And if the queen blocks its mate, king has to shift forward. And now we take the bishop. This is completely over. We've won 2 pieces. And you'll see, this is the reason we don't just take the bishop in this position. This bishop is hanging, yes, but we can take the knight and the bishop. That's the beauty of it. So queen f3, knight takes, king takes with check. And I'll play out the continuation. d6, hitting the queen. Queen comes back. Queen g6, rook lining up with the king. And then we just trade down. And we're up 2 pieces. So that's a simple continuation. Now we can go back. We have bishop takes f7 check, king f8, and now the move d5. d5 is another try. Excuse me, king f8, bishop b3, and d5. So d5, pretty simple continuation. Simply e takes d. And now knight a5, hitting the bishop, d6, hitting the knight. Knight takes b3, d takes e check, queen takes, pretty forced, d takes c, knight takes c, bishop d4, and we get bishop a3 in, pinning the queen to the king. I'm going fast through this continuation. You guys can go back and look at it, but this is pretty basic and it's very obviously winning. Now, let's go over a different continuation. So bishop takes f6. Let's focus on king h8. King h8, if the black king goes to the corner, remember that your dark squared bishop comes to life, if that helps jog your memory. Black king to the corner, bishop takes h6. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. If g takes, we have mate in 1. If queen to g8, we have bishop takes g8. Pretty fucking obvious. If knight back to g8, we have bishop g5 with discover check, winning the queen. Pretty simple. We can also take the knight and win the queen. Yeah. So we could take the queen here, but bishop takes is nice. Threatening another discover check. There's obviously nothing black can do in this position. We cover g takes a6. g6. g6 is the one move. You'll see actually 18% of people in this position just took the bishop. That's completely unnecessary. So if we go back, bishop takes, and then g6, and this simple move, bishop takes. And I think people are worried about knight takes, but in this position we have discovered check, winning the queen. So that this is over, obviously, once you win the queen. So we've covered king f8 and king h8. Now king f7, maybe the trickiest of moves, but we can see how to beat it pretty easily. If king f7, we want to go ahead and take the free piece. We don't really have anything better here. We'll see. You can see bishop b3 has been tried, and it looks like 33% games are winning. And obviously the position is still winning there, but this is just lights out. So we'll see queen takes c5. And now if d6, we can bring the queen back to h5, knight e5, cd, hitting the knight. Knight takes bishop, queen takes knight. And now we've just traded off into a very simple, I mean, not necessarily an endgame, but we traded another pair of pieces, and you're up a significant amount of material. This is easily winning. And finally, after king h7, queen takes c5, we have dc3. And this can be followed with knight takes c3, d6, hitting the queen back to h5. You'll notice this is a kind of common theme, bringing the queen back over to the king, pinning this pawn, and there's tons of tactics here. So knight e5 again, bishop back to b3. I'm just going to speed through this, but you'll see we can just drop the queen away. Bishop d7, f4, hitting the knight, and then f5. So kind of the theme here is we get the queen out of trouble, and then we start taking back the initiative. So, and this is it. After the queen trade, it's over. So, yeah, those are just some lines. I just wanted to make sure that you guys win in this position. This is totally winning. No questions asked. If you guys want to continue to look, I'm going to be adding games to the study as I play Evans games, and I'm going to be adding some analysis in. So if you're interested in that, I'll link that down below. And I hope you guys win in this position if you get it. I think hundreds of people have fallen into it. I've had it a couple times just in the past week, and it's always fun. It's always fun to play after the castle. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good day.